Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Grade A Talks, a space where we strip away the filters and confront life's truths head on. Here we delve into the real, the raw, and the often uncomfortable lessons that life throws our way. Remember, everything shared is based on personal experiences and perspectives. Take what resonates and leave what does not. These are personal insights, not professional advice. Proceed with an open mind, and maybe, just maybe, you'll find a nugget of wisdom to carry forward. My grandma always told me, always, little one, question the world around you. So I don't plan on shutting up anytime soon. I have a lot to say, and so let's have this conversation. Welcome.
We're gonna need wine for this. Because y'all out here playing. And I don't know why y'all playing. Let's go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Grade A Talks. It's your girl Ariel, the gracious, the well-informed, the nurse bae. I am so happy to be here with you all. I know it's been a minute since I've been here and so much has transpired since my last pod, but we're going to touch on a lot of those aspects today. One of the things in particular that I want to start with, and I think it would be very remiss if I did not, being that this is my career choice and my profession, is nursing. I know you all are aware that the Department of Education no longer classifies nursing as a profession. Now, I know many of you were very surprised when you saw that news article hit, but let's take into consideration the fact that so many women, Black women especially, over 300,000 Black women have lost their jobs this year. That's no coincidence that in the same year that 300,000 Black women lose their jobs, Project 2025 is continuing to show its ugly face by now trying to denounce the importance of nursing. It's no surprise because there has been such a huge influx of Black and brown nurses. And not just nursing, not just LPNs and RNs. They took it as far as to attack the nurse practitioners, the nurses who are advancing and furthering their education. That's quite odd and ironic to me because I was a nurse during COVID. And during COVID, we were seen as warriors, the people on the front line. People had this insurmountable respect for us, including the Department of Education. It's funny how one day they love you and the next day you're thrown to the wayside. This is not something people just choose to do on a whim. We have to master ethics in database systems. We have to train in leadership and communication. We have to utilize evidence-based practice, the latest and the best evidence-based practice to ensure the safety and the best practice for our patients. Critical thinking skills have to be exercised. And not only that, we also have to pass a brutal national licensure exam. And it's not easy. You don't know what's going to be on there. You have to study for a plethora of things in hopes that something that I studied is going to be reflected on this test. It's brutal. And oh baby, the education doesn't stop there. You literally will be learning for the entirety of your nursing career. We attend workshops. We add on more certificates. We read research on our days off just so we can be up to date because technology and science is forever changing. How is that not a profession? How? It makes no sense. How audacious. It's like, how are you hating from outside of the club? You can't even get in. I really don't. I truly do not understand. And it's like nurses earn their respect every time we clock in to a 12-hour shift. Every time we are at work and we're having the worst shift ever that makes us question our own sanity. But we still show up the next day and the next shift because you know what? We love what we do. We have a passion for what we do. And we don't ask for fancy titles or prestige. All we ask for is respect. And it's really a slap in the face because I'm over here thinking about the countless nights I was up studying late at night after I would put my children to sleep. You know, the sacrifices people made in hopes of a better future. So the Department of Education really bold. But what I would offer for you is to just come see us. Come see us take care of our 6 patients on the med-surg floor, and they may be unstable. Come see us take care of the ICU patient that probably should have stayed in the ICU. Come see how we take care of patients who are coding. Come see us handle the family members when we're offering our compassion, when we're offering our knowledge and our education to make these people feel better. Very intelligent realm of the healthcare field. Never to be diminished, never to be played with. How dare you guys? And my thing is, we are professionals. Every nurse out there, do not let the Department of Education make you feel any type of way or make you feel like, your degree is less than. You matter. And they're trying to play today, but in a few months or in a couple years, when there is a reduction of nurses, you're going to see. You are truly going to see. When there's a reduction of nurse practitioners working in the rural areas because the rural areas can't afford the high-priced providers, you will see. This was not a good thing. This was not a good thing at all. Nurses, you are professional. No one can take that away from you. You are educated, you are skilled, and you are essential. Today, tomorrow, yesterday, and the day before. We will not let this stop us. All my black nurses and nurse practitioners, we already know. Black women, I feel like black women, we are so accustomed historically for people trying to play with us and treat us like the underdogs that we have this sense of resiliency that when you try to break us down, it only motivates us to stand up even more. We will continue to prevail. We will continue to get those degrees. Anyone who's in school now, we're not stopping. We're going to graduate. We're going to pass our classes. We're going to stay in honors college. Nothing is going to change for us. We're going to continue to take care of our patients with the utmost respect and the best evidence-based practice. We're going to continue being great because you do not determine our greatness. We're great already. The day we pass those boards, and many of us passed the first time, we already were validated by ourselves and by him. You have no power here. So it is what it is. But I do recommend again, hey, come check us out in the hospital. We are never closed. It's 24 hours. We have time. Bye. Nurses go to work every day in work shifts with the weight of the world on their shoulders. And this is no hyperbole, no exaggeration whatsoever. This is factual. We have real human lives that depend on us. One slip in judgment, and it can be devastating. And the consequences can be even more devastating. Nurses are held to strict legal and ethical standards. That sounds pretty professional to me. Sometimes I go to work and I have 6 patients. Sometimes I go to work and if I have team, which is when an RN is coupled with an LPN, we can have up to 12 patients. That is a very, very strenuous job. Not to be taken lightly, not to be diminished whatsoever. This is a profession. Not only that, when you're in nursing school, you have to undergo certain courses like pharmacology, which is the study of medications, and also pathophysiology. It's just so much that goes into being a nurse. That sounds pretty professional to me. I just don't, it hasn't resonated with me how anyone could see nursing as not being a profession, you guys. And I always go back to COVID. We were held up so high during COVID. It was crazy. It was so crazy. And I feel like a lot of nurses made so much money during COVID. A lot of people were hating on that. There were nurses making big bank during COVID, like $300,000 on these contracts. Buying land, purchasing homes, nice cars, everything. And I feel like a lot of people did not like that. And that's just my own personal opinion. I feel like whenever you are uplifted like that, the saying is they love you today, they hate you tomorrow. It's whatever, but it's just very mind-boggling for me. Like, I understand because I am a primary source of what all nursing entails. So when a department that has not stepped one foot on a nursing floor or, even been in the shoes of a nurse has the audacity to say that nursing isn't professional, that bothers me. And I also see many more events like this taking place. And not only did they come for nurses, they also came for like occupational therapists. I don't know if they came for speech therapists, but it was like people who work in the auditory. They didn't come for the doctors. They love the doctors. But it's just a lot of chiropractors. I don't know. Like, it's just, I don't know. Who else got attacked? Physician's assistants. It was just a lot. Like, I was very surprised to see that. But I'm going to tell you guys, and this is my truth, and this is how I truly feel. I feel like the only reason why this happened was because too many Black and brown people were getting into those positions. I like to say that, people never started questioning nurses' competency or their knowledge until a lot of Black people started, having on those scrubs and having those 2 letters behind their names in those hospitals. Seriously. And I will live with that notion. I feel like when the hospital started changing the color tone a little bit, some people didn't like that much. What's ironic to me is that the Department of Education are the ones who advocate for us to make sure that we are so competent and so alert and so vigilant that we're catching these, these mistakes in the chart, that we are not having, these errors or these almost errors. Like, you all put all of these responsibilities on us. Why would you put all these responsibilities on people who aren't professional and who don't work within a profession? It's a contradiction within itself. We're professional. Our education and our knowledge is real. Our degrees are real. Our knowledge is deep, and our impact is immeasurable. Again, nurses, we are professional. No one can ever take that away from us. Keep doing what you're doing. I see you. Now, I do love being a nurse, and I love many of the nurses that I work alongside of. I work with some of the most knowledgeable, intelligent, competent, prudent people I have ever met. But all the apples on the tree are not good and ripe and full. There are some rotten apples within the nursing profession, and this was highlighted in the viral video in Dallas, Texas, at the Dallas Regional Medical Center in Mesquite, Texas. Let me begin by grounding us in facts as they've been reported. In Mesquite, Texas, a young Black woman named Carrie Jones went to the Dallas Regional Medical Center in active labor pain. Her mother, Cash, recorded a video that has since gone viral. LaChrista Vaughn is the nurse depicted within the video, who was calmly asking Carrie intake questions, trying to get paperwork and insurance information. While this woman was in obvious distress, Carrie is videoed saying that the baby is coming. And she's literally writhing in pain inside this wheelchair. It breaks my heart to think that a nurse could even withstand. You guys, when I saw that video, I'm always thinking, what would I have done if in that situation? That nurse should have immediately taken that patient to the labor and delivery room of the hospital. This is insane and definitely negligent. So Cash, the mother, who was the person who was recording, asked the nurse, does she treat all patients this way or just the Black ones? That's a question born with history, lived experience, and data. Because I know many of you are aware, and if you are not, let me educate you. Black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die from childbirth and maternal issues than their white counterparts. I don't feel like that's a coincidence. Nurses like this should never become nurses. People like this should never become nurses. If you have a lack of empathy and compassion for people, you shouldn't be a nurse. I said this in my last podcast. Everyone is not equipped to be a nurse. Some of you have piss poor personalities. You don't care about anybody. And some of you are racist. Which begs another, question that's been circulating in my mind. Why do racist white people and racist white men, why do racist white women become nurses? And why do racist white men become police officers? Is it about the control and being able to oversee if someone lives or dies? I don't know. That's a topic that we should definitely delve into a little more, because I'm pretty sure, I think there's a correlation to that. Because why would you want to be a nurse? The thing about nursing is we never know who our patient's going to be. Like, I go to work every day. I don't have any type of, awareness of who I will be nursing. I walk into the room and that's when I find out who I'll be nursing. Like, they don't even tell you in the report, this is a Caucasian male, this is a black male. Like, you never know. You literally walk into the room and there's your patient. So, but back to this. So the baby was born 12 minutes after this video was recorded. And then she was finally taken to where she should have been from the get-go, labor and delivery. So the baby was under so much stress while in utero that he had a meconium episode, which is when the baby has a bowel movement. And when a baby has a bowel movement before they're even born, this is indicative that the baby was struggling. The baby was under high amounts of stress. Crazy. Dallas Regional Medical Center issued a statement acknowledging the situation and stating that the safety and well-being of patients are a priority. They are currently investigating the situation. Initial reports indicated that LaCrystal Vaughn was fired. Other reports trump that. We really don't know. But Dallas Regional Medical Center, come on now. Like, this is a viral video. It's been all over the news outlets. This is not a good look. If I was a black woman and I was pregnant, or just a black woman that works at the hospital, or a black person that frequents that hospital, I would not want to go there anymore if you all kept her employed. She obviously does not care about patients. She obviously is not upholding your policies and your missions and your values. If you truly prioritize patient care and you truly care about patients, LaCrystal Vaughn should not be there, because she does not represent you guys in a positive light. This is horrible. Horrible. This incident is a perfect example of medical racism and the continued black maternal health crisis in the United States. We have to do better, people. We can't, it's not enough to just say that you care about the patient's safety and their health. You have to actually execute that. And that should be seen in your staff. All of your staff. Especially the people who are in direct contact with the patients, i.e. the nurses and the doctors. Like, you have to do better. I know a lot of people, we have to do like these cultural competency tasks when we first become nurses and, employees of hospitals. Maybe I should start doing like psychiatric mental assessments, because this same nurse, LaCrystal Vaughn, was seen outside of the hospital with another person of color. They were having a seizure. Everyone else is like trying to help this patient get into the wheelchair. The man is literally out of it. Like, he's like, it's like this. She's literally in the back again, calm, poised, in no way, shape, or form touched about this life that she's assigned to. You cannot be a nonchalant nurse. You have people's lives in your hands. That's important. Like, we gotta do better, people. The family has retained a civil rights law firm and are pursuing legal action citing medical negligence and racial bias. And I hope they take them to the bank. I truly do. Because these stories are beginning to happen far too often. Like it's too common. It's a real problem that even in 2025, Black women have this type of health disparity posed against them. This should not be accurate today. We should not be having this issue at all. And the thing about it is, when it comes to Black women and maternity, pain is minimized or dismissed. They feel like we're just so strong that we can just deal with this just high amount of pain. And it's like, this woman is in active labor. I remember being in active labor. I cursed my auntie out. I was pregnant with my firstborn, and we were on our way to Little Rock, and I feel like she was hitting every grove in the road, and she was talking to me in this baby voice. She was like, "It's okay, the doctor's gonna make you feel better." And I said, "Shut that shit up. Like, I'm in pain. You've never had kids. You don't know how I feel." So for Carrie Jones to have the type of reservation to not curse that nurse out, you have all of my respect. All of my respect. Because 18-year-old Ariel was a savage. I was not playing no games. Like, don't tell me the doctor's gonna make me feel better and we're not even near the hospital. I am hurting. Shut that up, please. Also, symptoms are not taken seriously. You know, even Serena Williams, when she was pregnant, and this is a multi-millionaire, the greatest tennis player of all time, Serena Williams, she underwent this same racial bias when she was in the hospital. They felt like she was so strong and they didn't believe her pain. This woman could almost die from a blood clot. The Serena Williams, look it up. She almost died from a blood clot. She was complaining, telling the nurses, "Hey, I don't feel right. I'm very aware of my body. I'm very in tune with my body, as most athletes are. Something feels off. We need to do some assessments and some investigations." They literally were bullcrapping the Serena Williams, the multi-millionaire, best tennis player of all time. But you know what? Even with all those accolades and all those awards and all that money, she's still a Black woman in America. Y'all gotta do better. And also, pertaining to Black women, there's delays in care that would not be tolerated if the patient looked different. I've seen this even when it's not a Black woman pregnant. I've seen this with Black people in general. And you know what I do? When I feel like a white nurse isn't doing what she should be doing when it pertains to a Black patient, I take it upon myself to go check on that Black patient. "Hey girl, I got it, don't worry about it. Helpful. Let me go check on this patient. Hey, do you need anything? Are you okay?" And that's why I say, we cannot allow the Department of Education to stop us at all, my beautiful Black people. We have to continue seeking those degrees because representation matters. Relatability matters. Empathy matters. It matters. We need more Black and brown women and men inside of labor and delivery. Labor and delivery is one of those specialties in the healthcare that are dominated by white women. It's dominated. It's almost like a clique. It's like it's hard to get in. And I really, truly wonder why. Like, you go to a labor and delivery unit, you don't see that many Black nurses there. Which is crazy to me because I feel like representation matters. I feel like there should be more Black women there. I feel like there should be more Asian nurses there. I feel like there should be more Mexican nurses there because hospitals aren't just delivering white babies. And you know, you heard that story about that nurse who was actually breaking the bones of Black babies. There's some sick people out here, man. Department of Education, yes, nursing is a profession, but all nurses are not professional. So we need to do better at, deciphering through who should be a nurse and who shouldn't be a nurse. Like I said, I feel like we need to start undergoing psychiatric assessments, mental health assessments. Some of y'all are crazy. And you don't need to be delivering care to anyone because you don't care. You don't care. And you shouldn't just care about people who look like you. Becoming a nurse in the melting pot, which is the United States, you can't just think that you're going to be catering to white people only. If that's the case, you can go to the Ozarks in Arkansas because they're creating an all-white community. I'm concerned with the ramifications that are going to come from this. Like, I'm thinking in the sense of mental health, like birth trauma, childbirth PTSD. Trauma isn't simply medical complications, it's how people are treated. Disregarded, poor communication, humiliation, and a feeling of powerlessness are major predictors of birth trauma. This woman may never want to have children again. Pretty sure she's not going to trust anyone with her baby. She's going to have some flashbacks. This is a very traumatic experience. And not just for her, but for her child. Like I told you all, the baby had a bowel movement while in utero. Take them to the bank, Carrie. And Miss Cash, get that cash from Dallas Regional Medical Center. And if you're a black nurse that works at Dallas Regional Medical Center, you should definitely be advocating for that. You should be writing HR. Because that happened to her, who could say it can happen to you? It can happen to your niece. It can happen to your cousin. If you're black, it can happen to you. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter about your prestige, your status, none of that. Your socioeconomic status. It doesn't matter. Because you are a black woman in America. Which means that you too can be a Carrie Jones. We gotta do better, people. And then another issue, y'all. I cannot believe this is happening back to back. What is going on in America? I know what's going on. The administration has a lot of y'all pumped up, and y'all really showing your ugly faces. Because there's another story that came out about a black woman by the name of Mercedes Wells, who sought care at Franciscan Health Crown Point in Crown Point, Indiana. She went there in active labor. I mean, contractions 1 minute apart. They DC'd this woman before she was ever examined by a physician. This woman had her baby on the side of the road in a pickup truck. Her husband delivered the baby. Beautiful little baby girl named Alina. And it was delivered by her husband. That's crazy to me. But unlike Dallas Regional Medical Center, Franciscan Health Crown Point issued a statement stating that the physician and the nurse that were involved are no longer employed at that facility. The only way to get these people to stop playing is to hit them where it hurts. Them pockets, baby. Them pockets. The family also asserts that race played a role in the treatment that they received. Of course it did. I'm telling you guys, on my last podcast, when I was like really going strong behind the situation involving Adriana Smith, you know, the nurse in the metro Atlanta area who was incapacitated, and they made her, you know, even in that state, have her baby. Black women are under attack. Especially maternal black women. If someone is racist, they don't want you to procreate. Why would a racist person want a black woman to bring another black person into this world? We are upping our population. That goes against the white infrastructure and the white supremacist infrastructure is what I'm saying. And I'm not saying all white nurses are like this. I feel like I've come in contact with some good white nurses. But some of y'all are trash. And we truly need to get you all out the hospital and take away your licensure, because that is not the oath that you took. When you take your oath, you don't take that under the guise of, I'm just going to be taking care of people who look like me. No, it's supposed to be no maltreatment for anyone. You're supposed to be a prudent nurse, which means that you are considering the future of this patient and that you are using the best evidence-based practice to ensure that you are delivering the best care, and not only the best care, but the safest care. So to that woman in Indiana and to that woman in Dallas, I am so sorry on behalf of all of the RNs and nurses in the United States that actually care about people regardless of race or ethnicity. I am so sorry that you had to undergo that. And the fact that you look like me, that makes me even more empathetic for your stress and your time and your inconvenience and your pain. I am so sorry that you had to undergo that. You never should have had to undergone that. Mercedes Wells should have been delivering her beautiful baby inside of that hospital. But I am happy that the doctor was fired. Y'all gotta do better. Another thing that was so crazy to me was that after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, I saw so many people on social media try to compare him to Martin Luther King. That is beyond insane. And not all white people were doing that. It's a lot of white people who have sense. And it was a lot of white people who were calling out the other white people for their bullcrap. But it's just so funny to me. It's comical, to say the least, how certain white people will literally try to force some shit to stick that makes absolutely no sense to anyone but them. But to try to compare Charlie Kirk to Martin Luther King, two men who are on two totally different ends of the totem pole, is absolutely preposterous. Absolutely preposterous. There are a plethora of reasons as to why Charlie Kirk could never, and I mean ever, be compared to Martin Luther King. They are not equivalent figures. They are fundamentally different as far as their ideologies, their motives, their goals, and their impact. Comparisons neglect the fact that Martin Luther King worked against oppressive systems to transform them, whereas Charlie Kirk worked within them to preserve them. Keep in mind, Charlie Kirk had no respect for Martin Luther King. He was very critical of the civil rights legislation, i.e. the Civil Rights Act of 1964. He said that it created a permanent DEI bureaucracy, and also said that it was a mistake, and also said that Martin Luther King was a very flawed man. Why would you compare him to him? You couldn't find one great white to compare Charlie Kirk to? Let me think of a great white. I wanted to say Abraham Lincoln, but he only freed the slaves so he could keep the Union together, so no. And the slaves really played a huge role in freeing themselves. I mean, they did help win the war. I saw some of y'all comparing him to white Jesus. For y'all to be so big on Christianity, you all are continuing to perpetuate Jesus as blonde hair, blue eye. That's insane. Michelangelo painting got y'all in the chokehold. Wasn't that his lover? In the Bible it says that God had skin of bronze, which is like me. Brown. He was brown skinned. He had nappy hair. I don't see no white people with nappy hair. Like wool. I've never seen a white person with hair like wool. So I've never seen a naturally copper tone white person with hair like sheep wool. Like ever. Even with your dreadlocks, which look dumb. I've never seen that. You do get tanned, but it's not a natural melanated, skin tone. So it's like, no, still not the same color as Jesus. So yeah, that's crazy to me. I'm trying to think though, y'all. I'm running through the list of presidents. George Washington used the teeth of his slaves, and he had slaves, so no, he's not a great white. Thomas Jefferson had Sally Hemings locked up in the basement, and he was pumping that slave up with mixed babies, using her as a sex slave, so no. Who is a great white that Charlie Kirk can be compared to? Okay, I don't know. I don't know. Because I'm running through my mind of all the people that I was lied to in public school. The teachers approached these people as great people who love black people, and then when I got older and I garnered my own information about these people, they were racist. So it's like, that's not a great white to me. So I don't know who Charlie Kirk should be compared to. Maybe he shouldn't be compared to anyone. Maybe if you love Charlie Kirk, maybe you should just love Charlie Kirk instead of trying to, couple black excellence with white mediocrity. Because you're comparing a prominent civil rights leader to an influencer podcaster. A man who mobilized mass organizations, was on the front line delivering speeches, to a man who was going from campus to campus talking to conservative college students. It's not the same. It's in no way the same. And again, fundamentally, these men are not the same. Martin Luther King's mission was rooted in civil rights, justice, equality, nonviolence. He was not about division. Show me where Martin Luther King said, that in order for gun rights to remain intact, somebody was going to have, a couple of people were going to have to die, a couple times a year. It was going to have to be a couple killings and deaths of people by way of guns a few times a year, just to ensure gun rights were intact. You're never going to find that, because Martin Luther King was not in any way, shape, or form a Charlie Kirk. The only thing that Charlie Kirk and Martin Luther King have in common is the fact that both of their last names starts with a K, and that both of them were assassinated. That's the only thing that they have in common. And can't even say Martin Luther King was assassinated, because if you read the book and if you conducted your own research, Martin Luther King didn't die from the bullet wound. Martin Luther King died from a racist white doctor at a hospital in Memphis. He was smothered to death. This has been quoted by nurses who were there and pushed out of the operating room. His body was spit on, desecrated. Like, come on now. Like, the only thing they have in common are the fact that their last name starts with K, and that they have 4 letters. That's about it. No, there's no other comparison. Stop trying to compare white people to great black people. There is in no way any comparison. And when I look at the aftermath and the response of the partners, the wives, Erica Kirk is in no way, shape, or form a Coretta Scott King. When Coretta Scott King was undergoing the grieving stages, you didn't see her being performative. Erica Kirk gives me a performative feel. Like, something feels off about, and I know you're not supposed to, not supposed to judge how people grieve in a different way, but it just doesn't seem genuine. It seems really weird. It's really eerie. She has a very dark spirit around her. It's just weird to me. I just don't understand it. It's very performative. I hate to say it, but that's how I truly feel. It's performative. And Coretta Scott King wasn't just hugging all up on married men after her husband was assassinated or murdered. They're not the same in any way. That's all I have to say about that. Stop comparing black people to white people because you love them. Find somebody white to compare them to. And if you can't find somebody white to compare them to, don't compare them to anybody. Just love them. There's nothing wrong with you loving Charlie Kirk. Everyone has their reasons and their ways and their own ideologies. And hey, this is Arkansas. This is a red state. They have billboards of this man plastered in Arkansas. They love him here. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I love my prominent black people. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I will say, I took offense to that. Because how dare you? Y'all will, again, try to make anything stick, even if it doesn't make sense to anyone but you. The mentally deranged. Do better. Also, let's not even get on education. Martin Luther King graduated college at 19 years old. Charlie Kirk dropped out of junior college. Furthermore, at the time that Martin Luther King was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, he was the youngest recipient, 35 years old. That's history. This is a historical pioneer game changer. We do it. In no way will I ever ascribe to the narrative that Charlie Kirk and Martin Luther King were in any way equivalent figures. You people, take your heads out your asses and smell the flowers, because delusion is prevalent in the United States, but I refuse to be a part of the circus, okay? I will not be a clown in your circus. I will always confront anyone who tries to compare the two, because that is complete and utter foolery, okay? Again, no way in hell are they the same. Crazy. Rest in peace, MLK. They crazy down here. And now we're on to everybody's business. You guys, this has been so much going on. These celebrities are a hoot. Oh my goodness. I feel like I've talked about Cardi B so many times on my podcast. Like, I was talking about her like from my first podcast up until now. The girl is the drama. Okay, so you all are aware of the fact that she has recently, filed for divorce. She separated legally from Upset, cheating ass, and he is spiraling. It is so funny to me how men who feel like a woman is always going to be there, and the women have to take some accountability for that too, because if a man is constantly cheating on you and basically treating you like a doormat because you're going to be there, you got to take some, responsibility for this. It's like you are a part of that problem too. But I don't think he ever thought that she was going to leave. But not only did she leave, she got with a young NFL player, $1 million man. Athletes make more money than the musician, And she got pregnant by him. They had their baby November 4th, 2025, a little boy named Bram. And she posted pictures of him wrapped up, in his dad's NFL team. And she had a baby by Stephon Diggs. And it's crazy. Like, Upset is now on social media claiming the baby. Now, when Nicki Minaj and Cardi B were having their little debacle online, and Nicki Minaj was attacking her children, saying that her daughter's teeth looked weird and she was funny looking and all of that, Upset was silent. We didn't hear anything from him. Crickets. Now that she's had the baby, you're claiming all the kids. This is so funny to me because men are just so simple in some ways, and yet they're so confusing. Because if you're going to cheat on a woman during your 7 years of marriage, and that woman finally gets the self-worth and loves herself enough to completely remove herself from that situation, even though you all just had a new baby last year, a total of 3, why would you not just let that woman go on and live her best life? I mean, you've been doing that even with your matrimony. And now he's suing her, trying to get alimony. He's trying to get half of her money, half of her wealth, saying that he played a significant role in her brand. These men are hilarious. I'm telling you, sometimes your biggest op is the person that you're laying down next to every night. It's like they hate to see you coming, but they hate to see you go even more. It's like, how are you going to cheat on me, expect me to stay, and then try to take my money? And I feel like this is a big reason why women really have to deal with people who they're equally yoked with. And not just financially. Financial is important. It's very important. I feel like a lot of people leave relationships because of financial issues. But mentally and psychologically, like, you have to be equally yoked, because if you're not equally yoked and you're not aligned, you're going to continue to have problem after problem after problem. And men, if you're not in a mental state to be faithful, don't put a ring on a woman's finger. Like, you're trying to trap her for life. No one, especially women in today's society, they're not going to stay for forever if you're cheating. There has been like an awakening of women. And I know a lot of people are like, oh man, we're seeing like all of these celebrity women leave situations that they feel like are no longer catering to them properly and going to what we perceive to be better situations. But even in like my day-to-day life, I've had conversations with numerous women who are in my circle, and women are literally just over the BS. Like, if you're not catering to women properly, if you're not benefiting them in major ways, i.e. peace, a lot of people want you to be their peace, but they're not peaceful. Women are having the strength and the dignity to leave, and I'm all for it. I was so happy that she got away from that situation, because even a couple months ago, she did an interview where she was saying that she was going through so much in life, and he literally kept her pregnant. And I feel like that's another thing we gotta talk about. Some of these men be keeping women pregnant to try to hinder you from your success. A jealous man will throw all types of things your way just to keep you limited. Because if you get too big, that makes some men intimidated. They want to keep you limited. And he couldn't do that with her, because everybody loves Cardi B. She has great personality. She's funny. She's beautiful. She makes good music. But a lot of these men, like I said, a lot of these men be your ops for real. Like, you really have to do your due diligence and really figure out who these men are and what their intentions are. When I think back to the relationship back in its infancy, before they even became public, they did a song together. He wasn't promoting it or anything like that. She dropped Bodak Yellow. You know, she got like real popular, real famous, like overnight, really. And he put a ring on it so fast. That's the first red flag. You know, back then you didn't want me, now how you all want me? Like, come on, baby. Mike Jones told y'all about this years ago. Like, these men really be, you know, trying to stop your shine. And I'm so happy she got away from that situation. But baby, Cardi B, you got away from one cheater, and then you go and get pregnant by a man who is rumored to have 4 other women pregnant. You left your husband to go get an Offset 2.0, and he's an athlete. So you know the women at the hotel rooms, everywhere they go, he has numerous women at his disposal, and one of the women supposed to be pregnant with twins, allegedly. That's a lot. Even with, you know, I'm so happy that your pregnancy, I feel like we found out about it like so late. Because it's like we found out she was pregnant and then boom, she had the baby. Which is like, okay. Because she said in the interview that she's really like superstitious about that. Like she don't want to talk about the baby early. You know, she went on Gayle King and she was like, oh yes, I'm pregnant by my boyfriend, Stephon Diggs. And then like 2 seconds later, like the baby here. But I'm so happy that she had a healthy, safe delivery. Congratulations to Cardi B and Stephon Diggs. I just know, like, as a woman, I've known women who have dealt with men who had other women pregnant while they were pregnant. That has to be a very stressful situation. Like, I could not imagine. And then, who's to say these women aren't about to drop their babies within the next couple weeks or the next month? That cannot be good for postpartum depression. Like, is he going to be at all of the hospitals taking pictures? Because would you try to stand in the way of a man going to see his other babies being born? Because that is still his children, you know? It's just a sticky situation. Because it's like, on one hand, it's like, okay, I've decided to be with you regardless of your promiscuous ways, and I'm aware that you have all these other babies on the way. So once you accept the man, you have to accept what he comes with, right? Like, for like, even with women who are married or in relationships and the man has a baby on you, once you decide to stay with that man, you have to accept that baby. So if Cardi B is deciding to stay with this man, she should have no issue with him going to see those kids, right? Because that is a milestone in all of their lives. I hope he does not turn them into sister wives. I can't see Cardi B doing that because she got too much money and she doesn't really like need his money because she has her own money. But there's nothing wrong with more money. I don't know. But that's just a really sticky situation. Like, I would not want to share my moment with 4 other women. That's a lot. It's like, I love you, Go Police, but baby, you dropped the ball on this. No pun intended. Like, that's crazy to me. And I've undergone some crazy shit in my life. But I'm so thankful, even with the trash can, dumpster juice I've dealt with in the past, I'm so happy that I was able to be pregnant by myself. I can imagine that mentally. I can imagine that because you're already going through your own concerns when you're pregnant. You know? Then you gotta add 4 more women and allegedly twins. He would have to literally get like checkups every 3 months. I would have to see paperwork stating that you don't have any STDs. Because how are y'all pH balances not off? All those women and he's having sex with everyone without protection? That is disgusting. Like, do celebrities not care about STDs? That's crazy. Congratulations, boo. But I'm gonna pray for you. And speaking of multiple men and STDs, Summer Walker, you going out bad, sis. Summer Walker, you are going out bad. You just dropped a great album. We have been waiting on your album. It has been 2 weeks since you dropped your album, and it's been so much drama. And the drama is not even about the album. Like the drama, you're bringing personal issues to the forefront when you should just be talking about your album. That should be the focus point. But you're talking about you want to be Pizza Hut. You want to be a side piece to these men. You out here getting into it with rappers, girlfriends, and fiancés, and saying that you don't mind being the side piece. And then an audio clip was released where you're begging a man. And then pictures are released where you're pictured with the man's fiance. I'm telling y'all, a lot of girls who be claiming to be girls are not girls. Whenever I hear a woman say she's a girl, I automatically know you flawed. You got some character flaws. And I probably need to get away from you. I do not trust it at all. Anytime a woman be like, I'm a girl's girl, I feel like you're trying to convince yourself that you're a girl's girl. You're probably a snake. So Margaret, you got a lot of snake stuff going on. Like it really made me question, should I be a fan of hers? Because you come off as being so spiritually in tune. You know, you're in cahoots with Erykah Badu and all of this. And I don't feel like it's authentic anymore. Because people who are spiritually inclined and spiritually in tune with themselves, they don't want to be the side piece to a man. Spiritual ties, soul ties exist. So if you are willingly signing up to be a side piece to a man who has numerous other women, I don't take it. Like, I'm not buying it that you're this spiritually intact person, because spiritually intact people don't want multiple spirits attached to them. You know, soul ties, and whoever this man has sex with, that spirit can get off on you. You know, you can be happy-go-lucky. You link up with a man who's having sex with multiple people, because you guys know we are a soul inside of flesh. You know, when we go, the soul is still there. You know, it's the flesh that decays and deteriorates and all of that, but the soul, that's to be protected. You do not want to give anyone access to you or let a man put his member inside of you that you're aware is having sex with multiple women. You can be happy and you get yourself attached to someone who's depressed, who's narcissistic, who has bipolar disorders, schizophrenia, mood disorders, and you're feeling out of sorts, and you're wondering what's going on, when the whole time you have connected yourself to the wrong spirit. Spiritual vampires, they're out here. I don't buy that you're a spiritually intact woman, because spiritually intact women, for one, don't want to have sex with a man who has so many other women, and definitely would never subject yourself to be considered Pizza Hut. We don't want to be no side piece. Like, what? That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. It's like all of your albums led up to you being a side piece. Is that your message? I don't understand that. Like, I don't understand that. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It's hard for me to disconnect the artist from the artistry. Like, it's hard for me to take away the artist from the music, the craft, the art. You know, like, once I see certain things about you, and this isn't rumors, like, that was you on the audio, you are out here saying these things, it's like you're having a meltdown. But Pizza Hut, sis, and you're a mother, you have daughters. That's crazy to me. Be a better example, Summer Walker. This ain't it, sis. And I'm getting over it. In other news, and in regards to other celebrities who I feel like are definitely a draw, Keke Palmer is the executive producer and visionary behind a new show titled Southern Fried Rice. And what it's about an Asian girl who was raised up and adopted by a black family, and she started her collegiate journey at HBCU. Now, many of you are thinking, oh, that's kind of crazy. Or some of you may be thinking, oh, it's going to be a great show, I need to tune in. Well, I will not be tuning in, personally, because this is just so tone deaf to me. I don't understand the need or the relevancy behind an Asian person going to an HBCU, which was historically created for Black students because we were barred and not allowed and excluded from other universities for decades. Why is this necessary? And are you even checking the political climate, Keke? Because in this political context, in real life, there are actual Asian advocacy groups who are going to Ivy League schools, who are going against affirmative action and really hindering Black students from going to Ivy League schools. So the Asians are stopping certain Black people from going to Ivy League schools, but you feel the need, Miss Keke Palmer, to create a show where the primary main character is at a HBCU. Why are you centering her like this? I don't understand it. Furthermore, whenever you place a non-Black person at a HBCU, there's going to be some backlash for it. You have to understand that. And it's not because Black people don't believe in multiculturalism. We are the blueprint for inclusion. Unfortunately, we are so inclusive, yet people are so exclusive when it comes to us. We're always excluded. Always excluded. So I don't really understand that. I went to a HBCU, and even within that HBCU, I remember one time I got into it with a white guy on social media. He was from my hometown. And then, ironically, I ran into this white dude at the HBCU. I attended at UAPB, University of Arkansas in Pine Bluff. And he was so ashamed to see me because I knew who he really was and how he really thought. A lot of non-Blacks use HBCUs to get grant money. A lot of them go to school for free because they have to have a certain amount of non-Blacks at these HBCUs. Now, some of the HBCUs are literally at risk for not even being HBCUs anymore. They're really about to be PWIs because there are so many white and non-Blacks at these schools now. It's like they're taking over. I don't see that at PWIs. I don't see that at Ivy League. So if I don't see that at the white institutions, why can we not have that at the Black institutions, the ones that were created historically for slaves who were marginalized, oppressed, and again barred from seeking education at white institutions? It's like, why can Black people not have sacred spaces? And why did you feel the need, Miss Keke, to create a show that centers an Asian girl going to HBCU? Just because she was raised around Blackness doesn't mean she's embodied the organic feel, the innate feeling of being Black. Just because you're around Black doesn't mean you're Black. A lot of people cosplay Black, but they're not Black. A lot of people love our rhythm, but they hate our blues. I just feel like this was very tone deaf, and it just wasn't thought out properly. I don't feel like it's gonna land well with a lot of people. I've seen a lot of backlash on social media. Thank goodness my Black people are taking a stance and actually confronting this for what it is, a tone deaf mess. I don't like it. I will not support it, and I'm not tuning in. That's just my 2 cents. Do better, Keke. This was crazy. But even with all that positive content, I still come across some of the most egregious foolery on social media.
Bruh.
I need us to bring back shame. Please bring it back. I remember back in the day, you couldn't even do certain things, say certain things, or you would be shamed. We need to bring that back. We live in a society where so much abnormal, detrimental craziness has been deemed normal that y'all really drunk the Kool-Aid and y'all on social media showing y'all ass. Literally. It's like so many Black women be naked. I know people be like, oh, other people be naked too. I don't be caring about other people really. The only time I really talk about other people is when it is pertaining to something that's relevant as far as my thinking points. But my main goal and my main focus is my people. y'all be too naked on social media for me. And it's like, I saw a post of this mother, and she was taking pictures with her kids. And it's like, she has these beautiful babies, like 4 kids. I want to say she had like 2 daughters, 2 sons, maybe 3 daughters, 1 son. But she had 4 kids. And they were all dressed modest. They're all covered. The mother is literally on the side of her kids, standing with like, it looked like a leotard. It was like a bodysuit. And she only had on like some tights and nothing that, she had no bottoms on. Like just like a bodysuit with some tights. And she was standing to the side so you can see her butt. That is so inappropriate. I would never fathom the thinking. Like, how do you even how do you wake up the day for your photo shoot and say, all my kids gonna get dressed and I'm gonna take this picture with no bottoms on? I can't fathom that way of thinking. When I saw that picture, I was like, they be taking kids from her. She inappropriate. Like, that's weird. I'm pretty sure she a naked mama too. Like the kind that be walking around the house naked, inappropriately showing your kids your body. That's weird to me. Like, what are you doing? Like, who is your audience? Who is your friends? Where your mama? Where your daddy? Where are your parents? I'm telling y'all, my parents don't play. Like, especially my dad. Like, he does not care. Like, he'll come in on any post. Like, I remember when I was younger, and I remember Twister had that song out, Wetter. And it was like, you know, can you make it rain down on me? I literally just posted the lyrics. My daddy got in them comments and was like, the fuck is this? Like, who you calling daddy? And what you calling him daddy for? And I was like, okay, delete. Like, bring back shame, y'all. Like, please bring back shame. If your friend is doing some crazy stuff, your friend is posting crazy stuff on social media, hold them accountable. Why would you even want somebody to be your friend that's posting half naked on the pictures with their children? That's weird. Why would you want somebody to be your friend and they posting weird videos? You know? Why would you want to be connected to that person? Bring back shame. There is nothing wrong with holding your friends accountable and speaking the truth to them. And if your friends get mad because you're being real with them, they're not your friends. You need people around you that you can pour life into and that they can pour life back into you. And, you know, you have that understanding that, you know, sometimes what I say to you may not be what you want to hear, but it's what you need to hear. She needs a friend. I was appalled when I saw that. And the kids looked like, ugh, like we gotta take a picture with this out. Like, it was crazy, y'all. Like, I don't know if you all have seen that picture. Definitely gonna post it on this pod. But that was insane to me. But she's not the only one. Like, people be naked on Halloween. They be naked for like photo shoots. It's like I'm seeing like an influx of just more naked people, and it's like, is being naked the only way you can get attention? Women, if you have to be naked to get attention, you may get attention because men are visual creatures. So if they see something naked, of course they're gonna look at it. Doesn't mean they're gonna respect it. Doesn't mean they're gonna uphold it to high standards. Doesn't mean they're going to cherish it. Doesn't mean they're gonna value it. They're literally visual creatures, and all attention that you get isn't good attention. It be the naked people who be on social media who be so offended about people coming to them on some I want to have sex with you type of time. If you're presenting yourself like that, that's what they're gonna want from you. You look easy when you naked, and that's just what it is. I have never seen a man, and I have guy friends, and I've always had guy friends. I feel like it's important to have like men in your life who are platonic, because men keep it real with their homegirls. No man wants a woman that's on social media naked. You're already telling them what you're about. If there's nothing to be left to the imagination, why would they want to take you to their mom? Why would they want to take you around their homeboys? They're judging you off of that. And I know some of y'all like, we don't care about these men judging. Okay, well, it don't matter, because, you know, hoes get cuffed every day. We see it every day. But it's like, come on now, a picture with your kids. I'm just saying, like, we all grow and we're all human. So we have the capacity to grow. But at a certain age, I expect certain growth to already be had. I expect it to be solidified. After the age of 25, your prefrontal cortex is calcified. And that's the part of your brain that is over your decision making, your mood, your attitude, you know? I expect so much better from people who are like 25 plus. It's certain things we shouldn't be doing. And I had to have this conversation with myself too. Because I feel like I was doing some stupid stuff in my 20s. But in my 30s, I could never. And it's like that light bulb came on around like 26, 27. And I was like, oh, baby, I'm disgusted. Oh my goodness, what's going on? Bring back shame. Please bring back shame. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, bring back shame. We need it. Because if you don't bring back shame, the shameless are going to continue to be shameful. We need our black men to protect us. Because again, we are the number one race of women who are not protected. Don't no man want to protect no Jezebel. Men want to protect respectable women. You know? We gotta be better. Like, again, please bring back shame. Because the shameless will continue to be shameful. It's horrible out here. Do better. Diddy, the diddler, he was sentenced back in August. 50 months. I think that was a little extreme. Very extreme. I feel like they sentenced him with the bias of everything that they heard during the court proceedings. And I feel like that wasn't fair. 50 months and he didn't even get found guilty for the most egregious charges that were posed against him. That's crazy to me. But he got 50 months. He's currently in Fort Dix. No pun intended. That's really the name, DIX. In New Jersey, serving his time. They did do, a fast track approval where he may have a reduction in his time, or they may change the conditions. But we have yet to see that. We'll see. Hopefully he does not be in jail that long. That's crazy. He missed both of his daughters' graduation. I'm not gonna say both of them because he has a set of twins, and then he has another daughter who's a year older, Chance. He missed 2 graduations of his children, his daughters. That's so sad to me. Like they're really having to navigate the world with everyone having their eyes on them, everyone judging them, and their dad locked away. And then 3 of his children, or 4 if you include Quincy, I'll be sure son, they don't have their mother either. So you have 4 kids out here with no mother, and their dad's locked up for 50 months. That's so bizarre to me. But I don't know, like they've shown pictures of him, he was in the yard talking amongst the other inmates. I know that has to feel so disempowering to be a music mogul who has created this empire and then to be reduced to an inmate. I can't begin to fathom the identity crisis that he's continuously dealing with. At one point they said he didn't want to eat. It's just a lot, like But hopefully when Diddy is finally released from jail, he's actually grown and, matured in some ways. Hopefully he's able to, fix the things that he left broken. And hopefully he's able to jump back in his kid's life, and hopefully, with how much they love him and respect him, they love their dad, and I love that for them, regardless of what other people say. Kids are going to love their dad, period. It don't matter if the daddy not around. It don't matter what anyone says about the dad. Children love their dad, period. Period, point blank. They love their dad. Hopefully he's able to jump back into his life and be integrated in a way that allows him to rebuild himself and to reconnect to his family and rebrand himself. Like, I'm all for it. People be talking so much trash about these black celebrities. These white celebrities are no better. Anytime I see somebody, and it's like on social media, I be seeing so many people say, Diddy this, Diddy that. Baby, talk about Harvey Weinstein. Talk about Epstein. Ooh, they got the files out, y'all. They redacted, I'm sure. I'm sure they took Trump and a lot of people out, but they got the files out now. I need to see you white people start talking about Epstein files, Harvey Weinstein, Elvis Presley being with their 14-year-old girl and grooming her. I need to see y'all talking about them. Because y'all be talking about all these black people, but it's like, baby, y'all got a plethora. You all have a plethora of white men that you can talk trash about, who definitely created sexual deviancy. So it's like, we need to stop trying to talk about Diddy this and Diddy that, the diddler. I saw a picture of Beyonce in Vegas over the weekend. All these mad little ugly faced white women in the comments talking trash about Queen. Oh, she's looking for her next Diddy. Oh, baby, you need to be worried about Weinstein and Presley and Bill Clinton and all those sexual deviant white men who be messing around with children, because Diddy was messing with grown people, consenting grown people. Period. You can't compare the two. You can't compare the two. So I'm gonna need y'all to be better with that. Y'all be getting on my nerves. Y'all really be getting on my nerves. But hopefully Diddy is able to, get out so that he can be with his children. Again, hopefully he's learned from his mistakes. Again, we're human. I feel like we all have the capacity for growth. And hopefully he's able to rebuild himself and rebrand himself, because he is a hustler. They say he's hustling in prison. I'm not surprised about that. I mean, he's got his money. Can't stop, won't stop talking to me. But yeah, Diddy, damn, that's crazy to me. Diddy is in prison. And they show his picture. Diddy got gray hair, y'all. So they made me think like, damn, Diddy was dyeing his hair. That is so crazy. Oh my goodness, Diddy got gray hair. He old. Like, is Diddy like 60? He like late 50s or just like, that's crazy to me. Like, oh my goodness, like what's going on with these black celebrities? It's so crazy. It's like they're really just trying to humble these people in the biggest way. I don't know. They said Trump may pardon him. We shall see. But yeah, it's crazy, y'all. So I don't know. We'll see, but it's a lot going on. Y'all, we gotta stay safe out here. But I'm serious about it. Like, bring back Shane. Please bring it back. One more thing I want to talk about is, and like we be having so many haters, y'all. Like, people be hating on you. And it's like, you don't have to have more money than people. You don't gotta be prettier people. You can just have an aura about yourself, and people just be hating on you because your aura and how people, connect with you. The rapport that you can build with people, like just your vibe and your presence, and how it makes other people feel. Like, if you are a beautiful woman who is not a mean girl, like people love you and people are happy to see you, you are going to be hated by many people. Because a lot of people can't, incite those feelings in other people. But I want you to know, for all my pretty girls going through that pretty privilege and got all these haters on them, always remember, Jesus would have never died on the cross if it weren't for Judas. Remember that. So haters are a part of your journey. Haters are a part of your journey. Again, Jesus never would have died on the cross if it weren't for Judas. If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping, is you? Cheers. Thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Grade A Talks. I'm so happy that you all were here with me. I hope that you all enjoyed the pod. More will be getting generated within the weeks to come. Tune in. Please comment. I want to know how you all feel. Leave some commentary. I'll go back and forth with you. I love to engage. And also, if you didn't catch the last podcast with Layla Denise, the nurse practitioner, please tune into that. It was some really, really good information that was spoken about in that podcast. And remember, if you're a nurse, please care about your people, regardless of their race, their ethnicity, their sexual orientation, their pronouns. Like, we have to care about these people. And the Department of Education, how audacious. Thank you all for sticking around. I hope you all come back. I hope you feel enlightened. I hope you all are happy, safe, and vigilant. Make sure that you are staying aware of your surroundings and everything that's going on around you. And make sure that you're remaining happy, healthy, and, just holy. I know a lot of people aren't religious. A lot of people are, spiritual. But I feel like in this time and with everything going on, we really need to get back to that spiritual realm and being in connection with our higher power, because things are so crazy right now. People are going left and right. Like, we really need that spiritual grounding. Let's do better, people. Cheers. Good night.